Hello.
What is up, who?
It's been a minute.
It's been a hot minute.
Yeah.
We're
Why
filming
is
this
recording so low.
because we normally peak the microphone, but then we changed our audio settings so that doesn't happen anymore.
Right.
So we're not gonna be it's not gonna be ungodly loud and awful.
That's fair.
So we're filming this before upload date, but I mean, hopefully, if you're watching this, we uploaded last week, because we've had a podcast filmed for a month.
I thought we were uploading this week.
I said the Sherlock one.
Yeah, but then I thought we were gonna upload this week too, because it's been so long.
Right. You know, maybe we will upload this first. Remove everything that I just said. We haven't been here in like a billion years.
There's a good explanation. We forgot.
We suck. We've had a podcast filmed for literally like a month and a half, and we just haven't uploaded it because we've been doing a lot of stuff over the summer. We kept forgetting. We were caught up with like a main YouTube thing. So we were like,
yeah, we're doing great, and then we forgot about this entirely.
So we're uploading twice this week. This might be the first one. It also might be the second one. I don't know yet. But basically what we're gonna do is we're gonna catch up on...
Sorry about that, by the way.
Yeah.
That it's been
all
so
10
long.
of you are probably so sad that you haven't been able to keep up with this. But anyway, we're gonna be talking about random stuff that's been happening recently. We're gonna be talking about just, you know, some happenings in our different fandoms that we haven't talked about yet, very recent developments that we feel like
that
need to
missed
be addressed.
Because we haven't recorded or uploaded a podcast in like a month.
Yes. So, yeah, basically, our crops are watered, TM. They're like a bit too watered. They're like
too
drowning. There's so much. There was nothing happening in like any of our fandoms for like a solid like 3 years, basically. And then there was like not much new happening. There'd be like maybe one new thing, and we'd be like, yeah, and then they'd move on, and we'd be like, oof. And now it's like all of a sudden just especially in like bands, it's just everything is happening at once.
All at once.
Like none of our bands did anything for like 3 years. And then, well, some of them did, but we weren't like into them when they did things. Like AJ released the Click pretty recently, but
all the bands we like have done things.
They haven't like released new music and stuff.
In 3 years?
A lot of the most recent albums came out in 2015 or 2014. That was 3 years ago. Honey.
Walk the Moon's most recent album was released in 2017. Fall Out Boy's most recent album was released this January.
I know, that's what I mean! But, like, everything started happening, like, the past year
I thought you were talking about stuff we've missed, and I was so confused, because I was like, what are you, literally, like, one of the last podcasts we did before we took an unintentional break was about Panic releases, so I was like, what? I thought you were talking about, like, stuff we've done, like that they've done, like, the past, like, a month or so,
No.
and I was like, what the fuck are you talking about?
No! I mean, just in general... Nothing happened for a really long time, and now everything's happening at once.
Yeah, this past year, they've just been like, hello, children. It's like, they all, like, it's kind of unfortunate. We like so many bands, but they all, like, release like, they all, like, take, like, they all, like, release albums, like, among the same year.
But this past year's just been, like, whack, man. It's, like... all of the bands we like have been like, here, have a new album. And they've already either released it or are going to very soon. And then it's like, Marvel was like, have some Infinity War for your suffering. And just, like, everything.
Are you happy? Are you happy with it? No, we're not, Marvel. We're not. I'll never be happy with it.
Never. In any way, shape,
never forgive you.
But anyway, that's like less recent stuff. We're talking about the past month
and
or so.
Most bands we like have been like take it.
Yes.
Take it all.
Yes. So, bands have been doing a lot of new things. Fall Out Boy released a new EP very recently, and it is
Lake
very
Effect
good.
Kid.
It's called Lake Effect Kid. There's only 3 songs on it, but they're very good songs. There's a song called Lake Effect Kid. There's a song called City in a Garden. There's a song called Super Fade. And they're all really good.
They are.
Super Fade kind of has the same vibe as, like, Young and Menace. It's like, really, like, weird and techno and, like, like, just random ass shit's happening and you're, like, getting sensory overload and it's great. And then Lake Effect Kid and City in a Garden, and especially Lake Effect Kid, have very old Fall Out Boy vibes to me.
I know why Lake Effect Kid has such an old... Because it was, like, an old demo for, like, a song that they were, like, from, like, Folia-Do era.
It sounds straight out of Folia-Do.
Because it was, like, that's what they were making it for, and then they never, like, did anything with it. And then they, like, I don't know, like, how, like, they just, like, one of them found it and, like, started, like, recording stuff for, I think it was, like, Patrick or something. Mm-hmm. And then they were, like...
this shit good.
It was like I saw like an interview where they were talking about it, and they basically were like they were like listening to like some recordings that they had, and then like Pete was like, "Ooh, I feel like this lyric doesn't belong in this song," and then one of the other band members was like, "That's because that's not this song. That's a different song." And then they were like, "Oh," and then they made like Effect Kid out of that. So one of them at some point rediscovered like the demo, and they were like, "Hey, let's do that."
That's really good. It's very Folia-Do. It's very Folia-Do. It's like if you put it on like in a playlist with only other Folia-Do songs, it would not be that out of place. It'd be a little bit different because the production is still a little bit different, but it's like. It's very Folia-Do. City in a Garden feels very American Beauty, American Psycho to me.
That's not like old Fall Out Boy.
That's like more recent Fall Out Boy.
That's like
that's very recent, but older Fall Out Boy, not like new era Fall Out Boy.
It is new era. What are you talking about?
It's not the most... Mania was really different.
Oh, well, yeah,
and it's not like Mania. God, why are you the worst?
Older doesn't mean the second most recent album.
Older can mean anything you want it to mean.
Well, when you
why are you being the worst person to have a conversation?
Describe something 2 years, because when a band's been around for 17 years.
God, alright, I get it. It's very American Beauty, American Psycho. It's not like the most recent shit.
No, please stop.
God. Lord, it doesn't matter.
It matters to the people who don't know much about Fall.
I'm gonna literally kill you on camera. Alright. So there was that.
City in the Garden makes me emo.
Yeah,
especially
the
with,
music
like,
video for it.
It's like all the old, like, toy
Yeah,
footage.
it's like some, like, you know, like images of, like, Chicago and stuff, but then a lot of it is, like, old footage from, like, them on tour, them at concerts, and it just
They're
seems
probably,
so
like,
happy.
concerts, like, in Chicago.
Yeah, and it was just, like, so happy and cute and pure,
Like,
and it's like, hey, take this thing from, like, 10 years ago. We've been around for a long time. Get nostalgia
like,
for a city you've never been to.
And that's like basically the whole point of this album. Except for them, it was nostalgia for the city they grew up in. But like in the music video, there's like this one like clip, and I don't know why I love it so much, but it was just like Pete like crowd surfing, but they were in like a tiny ass venue, so they were almost like shoving him like into the ceiling.
It's so cute. I love it so much. We stan Fall Out Boy. And it's just really cute. The songs are bumping. And then they're just also, like, cry time, big sad hours, big nostalgic hours.
I wouldn't describe any of them as sad.
It's, like, it's, like, kind of, like, it makes you feel, like, nostalgic. And that kind of is, like, a bittersweet kind of feeling.
Sad.
Nostalgia is kind of like a bittersweet kind of feeling, though.
But it's not sad.
What?
Why not describe them as sad?
I'm gonna take this pair of scissors and just shove
my fault. You're bad at communicating.
I said big sad hours that doesn't make sense, and you're gonna nitpick the wording.
Yes.
Ooh! I'm ending this podcast right now. What? Why? Anyway, moving on.
You should listen to Lake Effect Kid.
Yeah. Also, I Don't Know How But They Found Me released a new song, and it is bumping.
Do it all the time. It's
It
great.
is 100% 80s synthwave, and it is great.
It's very 80s.
Aesthetic. It's so good. It's such a jam.
They're
I was listening to
now.
it while walking around on campus, and I couldn't, and I was, just kind of, shimmying, and I was like, this is really weird. I shouldn't do this when there's a bunch of people, around me, but I was just, it makes you, you feel it in your soul. You, yes, it's time to get funky.
Okay,
funky. No, it's an acceptable word to use, because funky was a thing in the 80s, and it's 80s synthwave.
Okay. But, yeah, they're signed now. Finally.
Yeah. What's their record label called?
Fearless Records.
Fearless Records. So
I'm
they're
sure
gonna make an album soon.
I'm sure there were plenty of record labels, fighting to the death over them. Because, honestly, they were already on, the cover of Rock Sound and stuff. Cause
they were already, they have, they're not, they're, one of the smaller bands that we like, but they have a pretty sizable fan base, considering
Because, Dallin
that,
just drags all his fan He's been in 7 different bands and he just takes them with him every time.
Yeah, so it's they already had a pretty big fan base considering they were an indie band, and they've just now done some of their first shows in London.
But they're small in the sense that all the other bands we are going on tours with custom stages that look like their logo, and they're have all these big displays, and IDK's house concert setup cost them $13. So they're that. That's where they are.
Yeah, but
a
lot of people know them and like them. Just not nearly as many people as people who like Panic at the Disco or Fall Out Boy or 21 Pilots.
Who were all massive bands in every way.
Yeah.
But yeah, so they're but still they were what did Rock Sound call? Rock Sound called them the or was it Alt Press? I can't remember. They were called the hottest unsigned band in the world. So there was probably many record labels fighting to the death.
They were they had their pitchforks, they had their spears, they were going all Hunger Games.
Probably. We don't know, but probably.
Yeah.
But they ended up with Fearless Records, who I've never heard of before.
I've never heard them.
I haven't heard of many record labels anyway, other than
feel
Fueled by Ramen.
I feel they're gonna be a good record label because, Dallin's been around the block a couple times. He knows what's good and what's bad.
It's not the Ryan's first rodeo. He used to be in Falling in Reverse, I think.
He what?
He was a drummer, and he was in a drummer for another band, which it was either Falling in Reverse or Sleeping with Sirens. I can't remember.
What? Too far?
He was. That's the way he was a drummer for another band, and then he left, and then It was like, hello, friend.
It's neither of theirs first rodeo. They know how to pick a good record label, and if they were they had that much success without a record label, they could, if they didn't like it, they could probably be like, fuck you, we're out.
Yeah, and the record, like, once they do, like, once, the impression I get from, like, other bands we like talking about the record labels, that once, like, if you, like, prove, basically, like Panic at, like, Brendan Uris talking about this, how, they got signed to a record label, like, very quickly.
Yeah.
But, like, the record label didn't, like, help them much with, like, their first album, because, like, the record label had, like, more and had, like, other priorities. But then their first album blew up, so then the record label, like, couldn't say anything to them, even when they were a bigger priority, because, like, they already proved that they could, like, do it without them.
Yeah.
So, like, a good record label, like, won't, like, was basically just gonna be like, I'm not gonna mess with that, like,
They know what they're doing.
I'm just gonna throw money at them.
A good record label for, like, you know, like, bands, good bands that have actual talent.
And integrity,
And integrity is to just throw money at them.
Give them,
so
like,
they can
studio time.
Give them studio time and, like, production money so they can do whatever they want to do and then just let them do it. Because it's gonna be
Pay
good.
for, like,
it's
the
not
marketing, but then just let them handle all the creative stuff.
Because they know what they're doing, they have talent.
Because the record label isn't gonna, like, fight to the death over a band that already has like a really big fan base who's like a pretty big fan base who's like really loves them already, even though they only have like 4 songs, and then they're not, if they're smart, they're just not gonna touch it. They're like, we're gonna throw money at you, you're gonna get us some money, and then you just go, we're just gonna throw money at you, and you just go, just do what you want with it, take it.
Yeah, exactly.
So I feel like that's probably, the record label was, like, playing along to, like, the weird, like, undiscovered 80s band thing.
Yeah.
Like,
that's,
basically,
like, such
when
a good aesthetic.
Like, the thing for the record label was basically that the record label was going to help uncover more of the lost tapes. So if they're playing along with that, then, like,
I think they're good.
Like, it's just randomly reminded me of that thing we saw for 21 Pilots, where, like, when they got signed, the reason with 21 Pilots that, like, both of their grandpas are the ones that are on, like, the cover of Vessel, which I never understood. I was like, why was that what they made their album cover? And then apparently it was, they, like, just got signed, and they wanted to, like, test how much creative freedom they had. So they tried to, like, think of, like, the most, like, ludicrous thing they could ask of the record label. Yeah. And then when the record label was like, yeah, you can do that, they were like, great, we can do whatever we want. And they really took that to heart. And now they
like, leak their own music
and clearly
get in trouble with venues because they just climb shit without permission.
That's clearly not the most... It was, like, the most ludicrous thing they thought they could ask for. It turns out that's not the most ludicrous thing they have ever or will ever do.
Yeah.
So, but that's just, I just randomly reminded me of that. So apparently IDK Tao's album is coming out in 2019.
Wow, I'm so excited. They're such a good band. If you've never listened to them, do it right now. They only have, like, 4 official songs. They have a bunch of songs that are, like, they play at, like, concerts that I need to listen to, because I haven't, like, because there's probably, like, concert, like, footage of them performing them, but they have, like, 4 studio songs. They have Choke, Modern Day Kane, Do It All the Time, and Nobody Likes the Opening Band. And Nobody Likes the Opening Band is on YouTube, but it's not on Spotify, which is a tragedy, because it's a great song. But, like, goddamn, what a talented band.
Anyway, 21 Pilots is also releasing new music, but we've talked so much.
We've done, like, 4... we're gonna have done, like, 8 podcasts by the time this is all
good.
over.
They've released Levitate while we were gone, I think.
I think so.
They released My Blood quite recently.
My Blood is so good.
And, like, the slew of, like, bands, like, throwing stuff at us, they released My Blood, which is good. They're good. You should listen to them.
Levitate has a really cool music video. Don't know what the fuck happened in it, but it's good. I refuse to believe that's the last story about Trench, because they said a story from Trench, not the story of Trench. So I guarantee you there's gonna be more.
But
it's good. Levitate.
We're not.
He snapped.
We're not talking anymore about 21. We've talked so much about them recently.
It be that way sometimes.
I know. But we're gonna be talking about them soon again.
Yeah, when they release that album, it's going down. Down in an early round. Okay, no, I'm moving on. Panic's new music video. They released one for High Hopes. I thought it was gonna go in, like, 8 different directions. Because it was like... They released like a little teaser for it the day before they released it, and it kind of reminded me of Hey Look Ma, I Made It, except instead of a freakish puppet, it was Brendan. So I thought that maybe what they were gonna do was it was gonna be, because Hey Look Ma, I Made It is kind of like sarcastic. It's both kind of it's like kind of sincere and kind of sarcastic. It kind of like talks about like, hey, I made it, I'm famous now, but then it's also like a lot of shitty stuff comes with that. And then the music video reflected that. But then High Hopes is really uplifting and positive about making it. So I thought maybe they were going to do like a mirror of Hey Look Ma, I Made It, but instead of a freakish puppet and like that gets like addicted to drugs and shit, it was just going to be Brendan and like the good parts about making it. But it wasn't that. It was just him climbing up a building. Spoilers.
Not climbing, walking.
Walking up a building.
Just stepped on it and just walked.
Spider-Manning the fuck out of that
No,
bitch.
Spider-Man climbs up buildings, like, with his hands. And, like, he doesn't really, like, grab onto his hands, just, like, kind of stick. Brendan just straight up, like, he just walked, like, with his feet.
It looked really cool. But then as he was, like, walking up it, I thought, I kind of had this thought that he was going to get to the top, and then before he got onto the roof, he was just going to fall off the building, which I thought would be, like, sufficiently, like, emo. But no, that didn't happen either. And then he was
when
getting
he got to the top, he was going to, like, jump off for some reason, but, like, in, like, a good way.
Like, do a backflip off the building and then,
like,
land
on his feet. Yeah, like, something, like, cool like that.
And then I was looking, and it was filmed in, like, downtown LA. And, the building he was on kind of looked like the building from the album cover, so I thought he was gonna get up to the top and then, like, stand on the edge, and then it was gonna pan out, and it was gonna look like the album cover, and I was like, yeah! But they didn't do that either. I was kind of disappointed about that. But what they did do is they had him, like, play with this band on, like, a helipad-looking thing that had their logo on it and looked really cool. And it was also cool because it's just his touring band, and he hasn't put his touring band in music videos in a really long time. So I feel like the fact that he did for this one kind of like, kind of shows that he feels like really confident about the lineup. He feels really close to these people. Maybe they all won't abandon him. Maybe some of them will become permanent members. Please.
I never really cared that he was the only one in the band, because I, like, got really into them, like, when, like, I became a fan of them when all the other band members had already left, so I was like, well, that's fine. Yeah. But, like, I've been watching, like, a lot of, like, old footage of them, and it's just like, dang.
I just want Brendan to, you know, survive.
I mean, he's still, I guess, on stage there's not really much of a difference, because it's like he has band members when he's on stage, so...
Yeah, I'm just excited for that, because I'm glad that he feels like I'm glad that he probably feels like he has a really good lineup for his band right now. The Click by AJR is their most recent album, and they're coming out with the deluxe version pretty soon, sometime in late September. I'm excited for that. We haven't gotten the Click on CD yet, so I'm thinking of waiting and then getting the deluxe version, because there's going to be new songs. They also released a music video for Burn the House Down.
Doesn't make any sense. It's quite cool.
It's cool. It's very cool. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense. We could just be being stupid that we need to rewatch it, but it's really cool. Considering they're, like, an indie band, it was, like, a lot. It was pretty high production, considering. They're a very good band. If you haven't listened to them either, you definitely should. They're very talented humans. Their acoustic covers have, like, I'm, like, fucking...
more instruments than they have band members.
Yeah. They, have very high production stuff, but it's like they do it themselves, and it's in like it's not like auto-tuned or whatever. Like
it's very artistic.
It's very artistically produced. Like they have a ton of different instruments and a ton of different layering, and they like take sound effects of like that. Like they take like audio bites of them like making noises, and then like edit it, and they like turn like they'll have like a note and then they like change the note like of the like them like singing or like saying something, and
Like,
then they
they'll
like
change,
change
like,
it into like that into like an instrument or something.
It's
They make
good.
it part of like the music. It's really good.
And then they put it in a synth pad so they can play it live.
Yeah, and then they put this like one soundbite of one of them going "go" and like everything
Every
they
song.
touched. They literally did a remix of a 21 Pilots song and put that soundbite in it like 5
3 times. There's 3 times.
It's in like
Cow.
all of their songs, and
Take
I
a
love
shot. Just go to Spotify, search AJO, hit shuffle play on like the artist page, and just take a shot every time they say "go" in one of their songs.
It's good though. They're really good. We stan AJR. They're very talented. They have a lot of creative work. They do a lot of weird shit.
I love
They
it.
do a lot of weird shit. It's really like their production is
Yodeling.
very weird. They have a song that has yodeling in it, and I dance to it. Because it's a really good song. But it's
Yodeling
just
is
got
objectively off.
but it's got yodeling in it. And their songs are really cute, and they have like a lot of like good meaning behind them.
Like every band we like.
Yeah, but
really.
theirs is like really relatable to us personally, and I enjoy it a lot. They're very good, and they do a lot of like woke shit. I don't know how else to explain that.
They're lovely.
They did Burn the House Down, which is what the music video is for. Is kind of about like standing up to like the injustices, and it's talking about how like they have like a struggle between like keeping like their music lighthearted so that nobody gets angry at them and they don't like maybe like compromise part of their career, or like trying to use their music to promote like good change in society. And then it talks a lot about that. They have a song that benefits a campaign to stop sexual assault.
That's cool.
That's good. They're great. They're much younger than everyone.
Yeah, we
One
thought
of them
really
the lead singer just turned 21. I'm like 3 years younger than him. Our brother is older than him. There's a kid in one of my classes at college that's older than him.
Like, it doesn't sound that weird. We just got really tripped out because we're used to everyone we stand being like 32.
Yeah.
And then,
Gerard weighs like 40.
He's like 42. It's ridiculous. Stop. He needs to stop aging.
I mean, bold of you. He looks the same that he did in like when he was like 15.
Bold of me to assume he is aging.
Bold
and not
of you
just
to assume
counting
that
up years of immortality.
Yeah, bold of you to assume that Gerard Way is capable of aging and not just a vampire that lives forever.
He looks exactly the same.
Legend, it's kind of scary.
He has the same face. He's like 42.
It's like alarming, honestly.
Face.
That's not what we're talking about, though.
It's
Well,
what
we
we're talking about.
But anyway, band things have been happening. Lots of band things.
Yeah.
So,
That's that, I think, for bands.
yeah.
That's
Avengers 4 is being filmed. That's a thing.
all.
So is Spider-Man Far From Home.
Spider-Man 2, basically.
Yeah, it's the second one. But, you know, Marvel is like everyone...
Spider-Man!
Spoiler alert! For Infinity War,
Oh,
be one of
yeah.
the 3 people that hasn't seen it.
Like,
But they're like,
friend.
Marvel's like, oh yeah, everyone in the snap died. They're not coming back. By the way, we're also filming Spider-Man sequel that takes place after Infinity War.
Does it? It does, because
It picks up apparently it picks up 5 minutes after Avengers 4 ends. So like...
But Spider-Man's definitely dead, guys.
Oh, totally. Doctor Strange,
guess-
he ain't coming back. He's
I
got
mean,
a sequel,
I
though.
guess they could... Spider-Man... No, because Tom Holland's in it. I was gonna say, it could be, because I know in the comics, that one... there was, in some comics, Peter Parker dies and, someone else... I know in one universe his, girlfriend replaces him, and I know in another one, a kid named Miles replaces him. But
I don't think that's the case. And
but Tom Holland's in Spider-Man 2. So.
And then it's also like, oh yeah, Doctor Strange, he's definitely dead. He totally doesn't have a sequel coming out.
Like
Guardians of the Galaxy 3 is just gonna be Nebulous and Rocket. You know, everyone else
Nebula.
is definitely dead.
Nebulous?
Did I say Nebulous?
Yes.
It's Nebula.
Yeah, it's just gonna be Nebula and Rocket, according to Marvel, apparently that's how it's gonna work. I'd still watch it.
Yeah.
But yeah, apparently Spider-Man 2, that Tom Holland's in Spider-Man 2.
Yeah.
So...
There's been, like, videos and pictures of him on set.
He's not being used, so it's not like they're just replacing him with, like, another character.
I don't think they could get away. They've rebooted Spider-Man so many times, and then they're gonna finally settle on one that they're not gonna reboot, and then be like, oh, he's dead.
In, like, the third movie he's in.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not gonna fly. Doctor Strange, no one can replace him. His name is literally the title of the movie. So but don't worry, he's definitely dead.
He's definitely 100% dead. He totally doesn't have a plan. He totally doesn't know exactly how to save everything. He definitely let the whole half of the universe get killed off if he's seen the one way that they can survive.
Definitely. It makes...
Don't worry, guys.
No one believes them.
No,
Black Panther 2 is also gonna be a thing. I guess that's just gonna be... Who was, like, the one Black Panther character that survived?
I think Shuri did, and Okoye.
Oh, no, Shuri's, like, the one where, like, people, like, they didn't show her dying, but she wasn't in that movie much anyway, so no one knows. They did show Black Panther dying, though, so...
The thing about Black Panther is that it's a thing that gets, passed down from person to person.
So that's technically another one that they could just replace.
I doubt it,
Yeah, I doubt it.
But there is a theory that in Avengers 4, like, Shuri's gonna become Black Panther for a little while.
That would be cool.
Because, I mean, she is, like, next in line, because he doesn't have, like, any kids, so...
Yeah, and she's his sister, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they think that she's gonna be Black Panther. That'd be hella rad, but they better not keep my boy T'Challa dead.
I liked him. He's cool.
Great.
I like him.
We stand. But Shuri's really awesome too. Also, someone confirmed that she's the smartest person in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So I mean, like,
cool.
Okay.
I mean, you know, she's a scientist from Wakanda. They're pretty...
Yeah, I'm not doubting it. I'm just like, you know what? This is fine.
Yeah.
We stan. But yeah, Avengers 4 takes place like 5 years after Infinity War or something like that.
That's not okay with me.
They made like Robert Downey Jr. like dye his hair grayish, and I'm like, not okay. I'm not. I'm not a fan of, like, time skips like that, I know.
Honest.
It makes me, like, aware of their mortality for some reason.
Yeah, and also, like, I don't like it. And then also, it's just, like, I don't like... Like, time skips kind of, like, work when it's, like, something, like, had, like, a wrapped-up ending, and then it's, like... Like, you know, like, between some of the Marvel movies, like, I know between, like, Iron Man 3 and, like, Civil War, I think, there was, like, a bit of, like, a time jump. But it was, like, a couple months, and it was, like... It, like, had, like, an ending, so they, like... Like, time skips were, like, is implied that, like, not much was, like, going on.
Yeah.
Like, in between, like, Iron Man 3 and, like... Civil War, I think, was the next one.
I think so.
So...
Ooh, it might have been Age of Ultron, actually.
No, I think Age of Ultron was after,
What?
I think Age of Ultron was after 2. Iron Man
2. I don't think so.
I don't think it was Age of Ultron.
Hold on.
Because didn't, like... Because, like, I thought that, like, Pepper and Tony, like, broke up after Iron Man 3. even though that was technically supposed to be them, like, fixing their relationship, but they were still together in...
What happened between Iron Man 3 and Age of Ultron?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So why did they break up then?
It was just something that happened, like, off screen. It was like they just didn't work out or something like that. Or, like, she was, like... I think it might have been because he, like, kept trying to be, Iron Man, and she was like, stop it.
Okay. But...
I don't know.
See, that's what you told me yesterday. That's why I thought it was between... It was Civil War. It was like Iron Man 3, then Civil War, because he would have been Iron Man for a while then. before she was like, why? Stop. Because he was still Iron Man in Age of Ultron.
But he wasn't dating Pepper in Age of Ultron.
Yes, he was.
He was?
Yes! We watched this movie like 3 days
I can't keep them straight in my brain!
She wasn't in Age of Ultron, but they mentioned her.
Oh, right, because they were like, what's up with Pepper? And like, what's up with Jane? And they were like, yeah, maybe it was not because he went back to being Iron Man then, I don't know.
Yeah, but anyway. But like, time skips like that were like something like, oh, the main important thing is that like, one of them broke up with their girlfriend or something, then it's like, yeah, that's fine. You just takes a lot of a conversation to fill in, and you assume nothing else, like, major happened.
Yeah.
Maybe they did a little bit of superheroing, probably wasn't super exciting, because they're all OP as fuck compared to, like, normal humans.
Yeah.
But...
With Infinity War, it feels weird, because it's like they're not gonna show the immediate aftermath.
Because it was like... You've, like, missed a lot.
Yeah.
Obviously, just, like, by default. Like, it's been, like, 4 years, which is already, like, a really big time skip. But then, like, Infinity War didn't, like, end. It didn't have, like, a nice, like, end. Like, they were still, like, it still felt like they were, like, in the middle of something.
Yeah, and then they're just kind of gonna skip ahead. It's weird, but I'm sure they can pull it off. I'm also concerned about
like,
Ant-Man, because spoilers for Ant-Man and the Wasp. At the end of the end credits scene, Ant-Man was in the quantum realm, and everybody else turned to dust because of the snap. So he's just been stuck there for 4 years.
I don't know. Maybe he found a way out of it, but yeah, I'm not saying like it's like bad lighting or anything. Like I don't think it like hurts like I don't think time skips like that are like a bad lighting technique, and I don't think it like hurts the movie from that. From like that kind, from like a technical perspective or anything, it just stresses me out.
It like makes me feel anxious. It's probably because we get like so into like we want to know things that happen in these things. Like I want to know how they dealt with.
And I don't want them to just be like sad for 4 years.
I know. And then it's like when they make like the character look like visibly older, I'm like, no, I don't want the characters to have like mortality in my mind.
I just want them to like I want the only mortal danger. I like the only element of mortality being like the possibility that they could be like killed by like an alien. That's fine. The idea of them just like aging like humans is like
it's like that with a lot of things though, because it's like I'll just like I'll read something from like that's like from like a different era, like that webcomic we read that's in the 50s, or like a webcomic like characters from the 20s or from the Victorian era, and then I think about the fact where it's like, haha, they're probably dead. If they were real, they'd be dead right now because that was like 100 years ago. I'm like, no, I don't want that to be a thing that exists in my mind. I just want these characters to exist forever at that age, at that time.
I just want, like, fictional characters to just kind of, like, be immortal. Like I write some stories and stuff. It's always, like, a big temptation for me to just make my characters immortal just because I'm, like, much more happy with, like, that. And some of my things I could do. That's a thing I could do. And I'm like, should I, though?
Oh, it's like someone pointed out that Hermione in Harry Potter is older than BBC Sherlock. And I'm like, that's not okay. She's still 14 in my brain. She's not allowed to be, like, 37.
Sherlock from like BBC Sherlock is younger than Hermione Granger would be, right?
Yeah, and
like,
then Hermione, she's still like a 13-year-old girl going to school in my brain. I don't want to think of her as like a middle-aged person.
Essentially, we don't like the idea of fictional characters aging aside from like, just like, you know, a couple of years, like, oh, they're like...
Like, Harry Potter going from 11 to 17 is acceptable, but Hermione Granger going from 17 to, like, 37 is not acceptable.
I think that's just us.
Yeah, it stresses me out. I don't know why, I just don't like it.
Like, Iron Man with gray hair, it's just like, no.
I mean, he works it, but, like, I don't also, it's like, no.
I mean, I guess Doctor Strange has, like, gray hair, kind of. But that's just, like...
That's, like, looks like a style.
That's, like, yeah, that's, like, a thing, though. That's, like, he just, like, had that for some reason. That's just, like... adds to his, like, wizard aesthetic, you know?
Yeah, like, that's not like him being, like, old.
That's not him
That's just
aging.
how
That's
he
just,
looks,
like,
always.
That's stress, probably.
Yeah, or maybe that's just how his hair is. I mean, we have friends that have, like, weird hair coloration.
That's true,
I mean,
yeah.
maybe he just has a weird hair coloration. I just don't... It stresses me out
It's like
when, like,
years,
a character is, like... aging significantly.
Also, I find it hard to believe that in 4 years they would have, like, gray hair.
I know, it's like...
Because, like, Robert Downey Jr., how old is he? He's like 40, 50.
I think he's 50.
He's probably, like, 50-something. God damn it. But, like... He doesn't look any older. Like, we've been, like, watching a lot of, like, Marvel movies. And, like, we've watched, like, more recent ones, like, Civil War. Well, we haven't watched that one yet. But, like, we've, like, watched, like, the old, like, old Iron... Like, the first, like, Iron Man movie next to, like, more recent movies.
He's 53.
And, like, he doesn't look any older.
It's, like...
it's been, like,
he might have...
years.
He's got, like, maybe bigger bags under his eyes, but that's, like, the biggest difference.
Like... Iron Man, like, how, like, Robert Downey Jr. in, like, the first Iron Man, which was, like, 10 years ago now. He doesn't look any different.
He really does. There's just a thing about Marvel actors and just, like, not aging, so then to be like, oh, yeah, Iron Man 4 years, he's got, like, mostly gray hair
like,
now.
No,
like,
he wouldn't.
I mean, it could be stress from, like, half
Robert
the universe
Downey
dying.
Jr.
But,
I mean, true. But, like, in 4 years, Robert Downey Jr. probably won't even have, like, mostly gray hair. He'll probably look exactly the same as he did, like, 10 years ago.
I mean, people in, like, their 50s don't really have, like, much gray hair. They have, like, a little bit, but it's, like,
Some people do.
Some people do. I mean, my friend has parents who are in their 60s, and they... Mostly,
it's
they
like
have,
a genetic thing. Like, some people's hair, like, just doesn't turn gray, like, ever.
Yeah.
And, like, some people's does it, like, earlier than normal. But, like,
generally...
I, like, have a hard time believing that that's even, like, a thing.
This is a completely separate tangent, but it's, like, one of the things that bugs me about Star Wars Rebels is that they made the clones look really, really old, when if you do the math, like, even, like, doubling their age, they're still only, like, 54. So it's like, they wouldn't look like fucking Santa Claus. They just have, like, black hair that's, like, slightly gray. Like, they'd have some gray in their hair, some gray in their beard. They wouldn't look like, they wouldn't be completely bald with completely white Santa Claus beards. Who are you?
Basically, movies don't, like, ever age people realistically, is what we're saying. Like, in 4 years... Robert Downey Jr. probably won't have mostly gray hair.
Probably
so,
not.
objectively, in 4 years, he'll probably look exactly the same. So, objectively, if you're doing a time skip of 4 years, Iron Man should look exactly the same.
It might just be to help people process that time has passed, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, still. I don't
still,
like it.
It stresses me out.
Like it.
It's stress. It's.
I don't like thinking about
stressed.
the inevitability of death. Please stop.
Yeah. But I mean, Spider-Man Far From Home's getting filmed. That seems like it'll be interesting. I think Mr. Freeze is in it. That's not. He's a DC villain. He looks like Mr. Freeze.
The octopus guy.
He's got like, and like I saw like a poster for it. It could be like a fan made poster though, but it's got like Spider-Man on it, and then the back on there's this guy, and he's got like really like kind of like elongated head and like goggles and like a dome over his head that looks like it's been
octopus,
like
dude.
it looks like it's been like frosted over. I don't think did he have one of those?
I don't think so, but it might be I think he had goggles. Octopus dude is the only thing that's...
Doc Ock.
Is that his name? That's
I guess
so dumb.
So.
I always forget
Spider-Man's really campy in the comics.
I always forget that, like, superheroes were, like... I get so used to, like, the MCU and, like, their new, like, updated versions that I forget that comics were born amongst 70s sci-fi campiness.
Yeah, so it's, like, Spider-Man has, like, the Green Goblin and, like, Doc Ock, and they've
done a
bad.
Good job, like,
that's
updating
not good.
Like, updating things.
Yeah.
So, well, like, they don't call Spider-Man the Amazing Spider-Man anymore, thank the Lord.
Yeah.
They just had, like, a nod to it in, like, a YouTube video in Homecoming that was titled The Amazing Spider, like a clickbait.
Yeah.
Anyway.
But
That's
yeah, I'm happy
horrible.
for that. That better not have, like, any soul-crushing parts. My boy Spidey deserves to be nothing but happy and healthy, and everyone deserves more than they have gotten. I want everyone to live through this whole Infinity War thing, and then I want there to be 8 Avengers movies where they're all just hanging out, doing low-stakes stuff, and eating shawarma afterwards. Is that too much to ask?
Yeah, it's like the Avengers was like this, like the first one was like this, like whole epic, like intense thing, and then it's just like, can we please, like, can you, now it's like, can you, like, can you give them a break and, like, give them some low stakes stuff like aliens invading New York?
Please.
You know, can you just go back to, like, that? Please.
Oh, boy. Alright. New season of Doctor Who is also coming out this fall. I'm excited for that.
3 companions.
3 companions.
That's quite interesting.
They've
not...
they've done that, because, I mean, like, the first Doctor had Susan and
Ian and like,
Barbara.
they haven't done it in New Who.
They haven't done it in New Who.
So hopefully they won't be
and I think
as
it'll be
insufferable as Ian, Barbara, and Susan are.
I think it'll be more, like, a more interesting dynamic, because in old Who the characters were a lot, like, flatter than they ever are in New Who, so I feel like that having, like, 3 companions who are all
cardboard,
like, who are all, like, very complex and unique and well written, and, like, one of them isn't just, like, taken off the show and then immediately placed by someone that's just a carbon copy of her personality wise, but this time she's blonde. So I think it'll be interesting. I'm excited to see the new Doctor. I'm always really sad when the old Doctor leaves, so I'm still pretty emo about Peter Capaldi, but I always get a little bit excited for, like, new Doctors as too, so I'm excited to see her doing things with her weird, like,
I think it would be cool to, like, not know who, like, the Doctor is, like, before, like, they regenerate, but that would require, like, not being on the internet for, like, months.
Yeah, so. Yeah. And he's already regenerated, because he did that in the
he already
special.
Has, but, like, that is something
that was such, like, a good thing, like, the first word out of her mouth is just, oh, brilliant, because she's, like, but, like, not sarcastically, because she's, like, soft. I kind of feel like she might be, like, kind of, like, 11, I don't know why. That's just the vibe that I get from her.
She has, like, that kind of, like, dorky vibe.
Yeah, she's got kind of, like, that dorky, friendly vibe. In the trailer, she says, "Do you guys want to be my new best friends?" And if that's not, like,
love her.
If that's not, like, the most 11 thing that you could say, I feel like she's gonna be similar to 11, and I'm not complaining, because 11 was great. They've got that same kind of, like, so dorky sense of, like, style. Like, he wore, like, a fez and suspenders and a bow tie, and she was up wearing, like, this weird coat and, like, 70s striped shirt.
She had, like, such, like, a badass, like, mysterious intro, and then it's like when they were announcing who was playing the 13th Doctor, and then, like, her trailer, she's like, "Would you be my new best friends?" It's like, I love her already.
It's like how they do that, though, because, like, in 12, like, when they did promo stuff, they made him seem all, like, dark and mysterious, but then in set pictures, he's, like, clawing his way out of a really tiny TARDIS in, like, sword fighting someone with a big spoon.
And I did that with 11 too, because like in his like first promo picture, he's wearing like something like really dark, and he looked all like mysterious or whatever. Then he actually shows up, and he's like has like a bow tie and a tweed coat, and he's just like, "Hello, friends,
am me." I'm excited for her. I think she's gonna be good. I think it's a good way to weed all the problematic people out of the fandom. No one's gonna miss y'all. See you later. Fuck off.
Get rid of them. Who needs them?
And then there's a new Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them trailer.
I don't think it's new. I think it's been out for a while.
But we didn't see it until right before we filmed this. So they were coming out with the second one pretty soon. It's called The Crimes of Grindelwald, and a lot of the focus is on Dumbledore and Grindelwald. And can I just say, I really want them to just yank Grindelwald. It's better in the trailer because he's got a nice haircut and stuff, but he's crusty. He's crusty as hell.
You didn't finish your sentence.
I want him to yank his character design so hard. Just whip it away from them.
It's not the best
it's not
they've ever made in the Harry Potter universe.
It's not that bad, but it's please make him dark and mysterious.
To how
he looks like a Walmart brand Jack Frost. Someone
compared to how gorgeous the rest of the movie.
I know.
Maybe he's supposed to be fucking ugly because he's the villain and everything.
But it's the whole movie, it's the aesthetic of the movie is great, the CGI is beautiful, all the costumes are beautiful, all the actors are beautiful, and then the Grindelwald is am Gremlin.
Maybe he's supposed to be, he's the
Dumbledore's supposed to be in love with that guy.
I'm not sure.
And it's his personality doesn't have much going for him, so what else is...
I think this was after they stopped being friends.
I know, but Lord.
So maybe he was maybe he was less of an eyesore when he was young.
Ooh, he does look better with
they showed
he looks
picture of him
like a human.
They showed pictures of him when he was younger in the original movies, and he looked a human.
God. I can't even pinpoint exactly what's wrong with it. It's just there's a visceral feeling in my stomach that it's not good. If you showed me a picture of him and was just what about his character design is wrong, I'll be I just don't like it.
All of it.
I can't pinpoint what exactly about it makes me feel it's so awful, but it is.
His haircut's kind of awful.
It could be worse.
It could be worse.
It was worse.
But honestly, in the original 7, 8 movies, he they showed pictures of him and he looked like a person. He looked like a person you would walk by on the street and not immediately be that guy is either a circus freak or a serial killer. Or both.
God.
He looked like a human a person could,
Mm-mm. God. There was a joke that, they were that's why Dumbledore's not gonna be, expressly gay in the movie, which is a whole other discussion, because I feel, I, kind of get it, because Dumbledore's such, a, private
he's
person,
a very,
and it's, the 1920s, but,
also, I'm not sure. To be fair, they live in the wizarding world. I'm not sure if wizards ever really cared about that stuff.
Yeah, and then it's also because so much of it focuses around them, and one of the main reasons why Dumbledore didn't go after Grindelwald for so long was because he was in love with him. I feel they should address it, but they might. There's 5 movies in the series. They might get to it eventually.
It might not be in this, because a lot of people were mad about the fact that it wasn't ever expressly in the books originally, but I don't find a problem with that, mainly just because usually that's what you want to do, but in this circumstance, Dumbledore is he's a very secretive reserved person. He was like,
Like
150. There was like no
he's like
reason.
150 years
There was
old. He's
no
not
reason.
like getting out much.
There was like no reason.
Haley
for it
is his student, and also he's so private that Haley didn't know like basically anything about him really. When you think like
about his life,
about
he,
like
knew
his
stuff
life,
about his personality.
Yeah, but it's like he kept so much of himself private that I feel like that if it was expressly put in the book, it might have been like odd.
Yeah, it would have been like weird. Like it wouldn't have made any sense. Basically, at least in
It
this
wouldn't really
specific instance.
Yeah, it wouldn't have really made sense if like they didn't really put much of like love life with any of his teachers,
Yeah, because they're like teachers.
Yeah, it's like Lupin did because he was like really close to Harry and stuff.
He
but
was
it's
basically like Harry's like honorary uncle. So
yeah, so
that
it's
makes
like, that
a little
makes
more
sense. But most of the teachers like they didn't go into that because they're his teachers. That's not really like that doesn't really that's
it
not
was
like a
stuff
thing.
like I get why you may come across like she's just like people like, hey, there's no gay characters in your book, and she was like, yeah, there is. But like knowing her was something he like knew about Dumbledore for like a really long time. She's never found like a place.
I mean, we've all seen Pottermore because she put so much supplementary material that was never in any of the books. It was just
no
story
place
because there was no place for it, and it's like I know that that's like the joke that like she's just like, oh, this thing is real, but it didn't like show up in the books because it wasn't relevant to Harry's story. But like when you're someone who puts that much
and
thought
I'm sure
and effort
some of
into,
it
like,
she like made up like later because she was like, sure,
Yeah.
people want it, I can tell them more about this random background character that has no significance. Here you go.
But it's like
care.
she very clearly puts a lot of time and planning into him, and like one of the things that when you like make really good characters like that is that you have them really built up and very complex and very human in your mind, and you use that information that you have for yourself to like help guide them as characters in the writing, but you don't always get to or don't always feel like you have to put everything in there. It's because it's like Haley didn't know anything about McGonagall's love life either, but then she put it on Pottermore, so it's very clear that she, like, has one. So I don't think it, like,
relevant.
I am hoping that they make it more explicit in
Yeah, I get why people are
are
irritated about it now, because Dumbledore's, like, much younger, and it's, like, not, and it's, like,
it's
from the
very relevant to the story.
And it's very relevant, and, like, it's from the perspective of, like, one of Dumbledore's, like, friends, not like a student.
Yeah.
So it makes like more sense for it to so there would be like ways to so it would like make it would feel like a lot more natural for it to like come up.
Yeah. I am
even if it like
hope.
wasn't
like
even if they were like, well, Dumbledore like Grindelwald's like a murderer, so he wouldn't. So obviously Dumbledore wouldn't admit he had any kind of feelings for him. But like Dumbledore's still like a lot younger, so it's like it could still come up that he's gay.
Yeah, and then it's like I'm really hoping that it does come up later, because it's like I remember that when people were first like, why aren't you doing this? J.K. Rowling like put a thing about how like she was like I forget what she said. It was kind of like aggressive, so I don't like remember most of it. But like one of the things she basically said was that there's 5 movies in this series, and we're on movie 2. Yeah, so I'm hoping that
implies
might,
that it's like it's not coming up in this movie,
but it might come up in like
later.
another one. Yeah, so I'm hoping for that.
I mean, it's not hard to like make it clear that a character's gay. You just gotta like throw in like all like relevance to the story. You just gotta like throw in like a casual like line about like about like a date or something, and that's it. You're done.
Yeah, you don't.
That's all.
And especially because it's like he's in love with Grindelwald, and Grindelwald was like the main thing, and they put in the trailer
the crimes of Grindelwald.
and they put in the trailer that like Dumbledore is like, I can't go after Grindelwald, it has to be you. And I feel like that it would not be that hard for like if they wanted to make it a more dramatic thing for it to be like, why won't you go after Grindelwald? And then he could be like, because I love him, and it'd obviously be better than that because
how funny, you know.
But I mean, like, you could do it. So I'm hoping they will at some point.
Yeah, it is. There are, so don't like immediately. Basically, what we're saying is that like don't immediately jump down their throats about it because there are like 4 more.
I say
3
wait
more.
and see. Hope they put it in there, and then if they don't, then you can
Wait-
be like, "Yo, what the fuck?"
Wait till the end of the series before you like jump down their throats about it.
Yeah, because you don't know what they're planning yet.
Like, it could be, there's 5 movies. Like, they've got a lot of, they clearly still have, like, a lot of ground they're covering. They have a plan. Let's see them through to the end, and then we can complain about it.
Yeah, I will complain about it. We'll have, like, a whole ass podcast, probably, if we get through those 5 things, and then we're just like, yo, where's the gauge? But yeah, that was a very long tangent about one specific part of this. But the trailer was really good. You were talking about how good the CGI is.
I'm still impressed by the CGI. It was like the first movie we saw when like CGI took like a big step up from like, yeah, that looks pretty good to like, that looks like it's a real thing in this real place. Which is what like every movie looks like every big budget movie looks like now, but I'm still impressed by it. It's gorgeous.
It also is kind of like oddly stylized. Like, I can't, like, explain it, but it's, like, it has a very, like, it's very realistic, but it's, like, in a lot of other things, it's, like, they make it look, like, almost, like, indistinguishable or, like, something like that. Like, in the Star Wars movies, when they did CGI, it was like, holy shit, that's, like, a person. That's a human being. But then it's, like...
Part of that might have because in Star Wars movies, they are actually CGI-ing human beings.
But I feel like, it's hard to explain, but I feel like that the all of the creatures have like a certain like look to it that's not like unrealistic exactly, but it doesn't like look exactly like something like they kind of have like I guess a certain like texture to it, a certain quality to it that kind of makes it seem kind of like magical or whatever.
Yeah.
Like I can't like describe it in a way that like makes sense, but it looks. It would look out of place in, like, a Marvel movie or a Star Wars movie, but it fits the aesthetic of the movie really well.
It might be because, like a lot of the other movies we're seeing with CGI are, like, really intense action movies, like Marvel or, like, Star Wars, so they have, like, a little bit more, like, gritty realism to them.
Yeah.
In a way where it's, like, this is still, like, fantastical, so it still has, like, a fantasy, like, aesthetic. And that so like all the CGI is like a fantasy aesthetic, so it like fits in.
Yeah, that's kind of what I feel like it is, because it's not like unrealistic, like it's not like bad. It looks like it could be like a real thing that you could really touch, but it's like you look at like the feathers or like the fur in some characters, and it kind of just has this kind of like almost whimsical quality to it.
It might be because like
it's not like they're like trying to be like, this is what this character would look like exactly if it was in the real world. It's like if they have like bird in like the first one that could like cause clouds. It's like it was just a giant bird, wasn't it? Basically. Yeah. It's like this is a giant bird, but it's not like this is what a giant bird would exactly look like if there was just a giant bird in the real world.
Like
it kind of had
silky and
had like a very like silky like
that
whimsical,
one was like
ethereal. They all have like a very ethereal quality to them.
I feel like with the bird was literally glowing. Like that was part of like what it was
but
glowing.
I feel like they all have those. Like I feel like all of them have this like whimsical like ethereal quality to it, and that's the best way that I can describe it.
Part of it might be because like they're like doing like fantasy creatures, so like it might seem a little more like whimsical just because the things themselves are more whimsical. Like it's not the actual CGI. It's
I feel
just
like it is though.
Can I speak?
Yes.
It's like they like. Well, it is the CGI because they're CGIing them to make them look more whimsical. But, like, if those creatures were real, that, I think that is what they would look like, because they look very whimsical, because they're very whimsical creatures.
Well, yeah, I get that, but...
But, I feel like they are, like, they're just, like, the creatures are very whimsical, and in real life they would look...
Yeah,
like that, because they're fantasy, like, they would have, like, a weird, like, ethereal glow, because some of them are, like, the bird you were talking about, it was literally glowing.
It's
That was
like,
the
I
point.
can't explain it necessarily. It's just that it's less realistic looking. It's less, like, I guess, gritty, I guess is what you're saying. It fits in with the movie very well, and I'm not saying that it's, like, not as good as, like, realistic things. I actually, like, really like it. I just think that it doesn't look perfectly realistic. It's like the creatures are kind of, like, glassy-eyed. They're very shiny. They're very, like, they kind of have, like, this, like, texture, this, like, quality to them that isn't realistic, but it fits the movie.
I don't understand what you're saying.
I'm
trying
to
and I was
explain it,
trying
but I can't.
to explain it to you, but you apparently I can't. Oh, you just refuse.
I mean, like, I get what you're saying. I just feel like that it's not, like,
Let's
properly
move on.
describing, like, what I want to say about it, but I can't. So stop giving me that death stare out of the corner of your eye, because I'm moving on. But anyway, Nicholas Flamel's gonna be in it.
Yeah.
We stand.
You have to be pretty into Harry Potter to remember that.
Jacob's
or
gonna
have,
be
like-
back in it.
What?
Jacob
Yeah.
is gonna be back in it.
Yeah.
I mean, like,
Yeah,
I've known
we all
that.
knew that.
I've known that, but I'm
That's
just, like, really happy because I love
Old
him.
news.
I know it's old news, but I just really like him, so I'm glad he's back. I'm glad they weren't just like, well, there he goes. He can't remember anything. See
I
you later.
literally was in the middle of a sentence.
Well, you know, fuck off. I don't care.
But yeah, Nicholas Flamel, you either have to be, like, really into Harry Potter or, like, just read the first book. He was the guy who made the Sorcerer's Stone.
Yeah. So I think
He's
that'll
a-
be exciting. Newt is an absolute cinnamon roll son.
That's not new.
I
That's
know, but it's
weird.
like in the trailer.
He's the best.
In the
and
trailer,
I
it showed him
love
at school, and he looks like such a small, soft boy as a
He-
student. And
he's
then,
soft.
his
They did a
worst
good job
fear.
They did a good job casting,
Yes.
like, a young...
His
Dude.
worst fear, like, out of everything else on this earth was working, like, a desk job at, like, a 9-to-5 office. And
love
I've
it.
never seen something more precious and more relatable, honestly.
I love it.
That's just so in character for him, and I love it. And then there was also that quote where they were like, "You've never met a monster you couldn't love," and I'm just like, wee, wee, I love him.
It's kind of a pun and also...
We stand Newt Scamander in this
He's
household.
the best. I'm, like,
What a
staring
good
at...
boy.
We have, like, a Funko Pop of him and I love
Look
it.
at him. Look at that. We stand.
We have a lot of Funko Pops, if we
We have a
haven't
lot of
mentioned.
Harry Potter ones in particular.
Specifically, yeah.
We have like 7 Harry Potter ones and like we have 5 Doctor Who ones, 4 Sherlock ones, 4 Star Wars ones, and 7 Harry Potter ones. It's bad.
We
We
need
want to
some
get some
Marvel
Marvel ones. Yeah, I want to find Doctor Strange. I want to find Thor. We found Thor and Loki and Hela.
Yeah.
And what a trio. Too bad Odin sucks at parenting.
He didn't do a good job.
But anyway, I think that's pretty much all we have to say unless you have something else. I'm very excited for Fantastic Beasts. The last time I saw the
Yes.
trailer for it was like, I also saw the Infinity War trailer at the same time, and I was like much more excited for Infinity War, probably because it was closer and probably because we stand Marvel. But now I'm very, very excited for Fantastic Beasts. I love it. We stand. Sorry
that's
we
it.
haven't been doing a podcast in 8 years.
We'll get back to doing it every week.
Hopefully.
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 They're not hard to make. We just suck.
We just forget.
We
But
just have to
will.
talk for an hour and then slap a picture on the audio. It's not hard.
Yeah.
But anyway, guys, hope you enjoyed. We're gonna upload twice this week. We're gonna try to go back to uploading regularly. We hope you all didn't just leave. But, you know, it'd be like that sometimes. See ya.
Bye.